Hello everybody, Cape Rugby TV, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. And yes, as usual, we bring the very best of Cape Rugby, or Club Rugby in Western Province. But nowadays, it's not just rugby in Western Province, it is also rugby out of the Boerland. And of course, teams travelling around the country, so we're stretching it wide and far at the moment. On the show with me this evening, starting on my far right, Riaz Khan, regular Cape Rugby TV celebrity. Hello Riaz, hoe lyk dit?
Nee, baie goed. 2015 lyk skitterend, uitstekend vir die jaar.
You took quite a good boerentaal there, eh?
Ek is boer.
Is it?
Ja.
Hey, I like it. Head coach of False Bay, Jono van der Walt. Welcome to Cape Rugby. First time for you. Welcome.
Evening. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you. Yeah, I know we've spoken to you on the interview and that post show and all that before, but nice to have you on the show. And then of course Sean Lilford, who's now made his media celebrity TV debut. People ask him for autographs in the field, otherwise known as Judge Rugby. Hello, Shawnee.
Hello, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you. Yeah, as always, and you bring us a whole new, fresh flavour of information and.
Just got to change it up a bit, you know.
Yeah, we just up the gear. Yeah, it's kind of a whole new standard now. You know. All right, folks, let's get straight into it. Let's take a look now. It was the community challenge over the weekend as well. We're now into the second round of the community challenge, going to the third round coming this coming weekend. So the Western Province teams managed to get away with home ground advantage during the past weekend. Let's take a look at the results there. False Bay 49-0 over Roses United. Belhar 55-16 over Vredenburg. Paarl 44-16 over Never Despair. SK Warmers 44-17 over Houston. And Primrose beating Saldanha 23-15. It was a clean sweep then for Western Province. Well, is this what we expected, Riaz? Home team advantage, does it make that much difference?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised the result of Houston beating Primroses the week before, losing obviously to SK Warmers. That's a big score, which it shows that they're not travelling too well, the Boerland teams. But you'd expect a 49-0 result of False Bay, for example. The conditioning on the day, if you compare it to the team they played against, was much better. So obviously they obviously deserve that win as well.
Jono, let's bring you into it. Yeah, did you guys have any exposure of Roses before this runaway victory at the Bay?
No, to be honest, we had no exposure at all to Wellington Roses, other than the fact I think they were in the Community Cup maybe 2 years ago, or maybe even last year, if I'm not mistaken. And we couldn't read too much into the first week's results. We obviously know ourselves travelling. We got in a nice bus, and we had a bit of a gees, and we had a bit of a theme afterwards in the bus when we played away against Vredenburg. And we love playing at home. Our crowd love it at home as well. The only problem, I suppose, or maybe not problem, but Stormers are playing as well, so therefore you get a little bit less crowd. But they did make sure that the games were a bit earlier, so the games kicked off a bit earlier at 3:30, so we could finish early to still get to the game and support the Stormers. Wellington Roses came out and they were machine in the first 20 minutes. The score was 0-0, huge defence, ran the ball from everywhere, possibly should have gone for a bit of line, but of course the southeaster was blowing a little bit, and well, you saw the result at the end of the day.
Just tell us a little bit, let's go back a step. Vredenburg, a week ago.
Yes.
You say you all got on the bus, you travelled away there. What was Vredenburg like? I mean, it was a massive win for you guys. You took it by like, I think 83-7 or something to that, but it was a huge win. The experience so far away from home and playing up the coast, and I mean, we know nothing about Vredenburg.
Yes, yeah, look, again, Vredenburg is quite a little tucked away area, obviously past Saldanha, very small, you know, some guys can call them the Vescus, you know, and we just love obviously travelling out there.
Did you guys, in all honesty now, did you guys stop at Club Mykonos on the way back?
We might have stopped there, possibly stopped there, but definitely stopped along the way to empty the tank, so to speak.
Pockets were light there.
Yeah. The problem with, of course, emptying the tank is that if you've had one too many in the tank, you tend to get out the door and walk past the tank without noticing that there's people busy with the tank, and then you end up with a very wet leg.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, speaking from experience.
Oh my God, yeah.
I have done that. Got out the combi to walk past the combi, and there was 5 guys busy with their anyway, didn't realize they were standing right next to me and that they were busy emptying the tank, so to speak. All right, so Roses United, then False Bay. But I mean, you've got incredible gears at False Bay. In fact, I think you're the first time that we've had somebody from False Bay actually on the show. We're still trying to educate Mike Cross at your club about the fact that there is a Cape Rugby TV show. I think it's probably the only one in the entire Western Province Rugby is he now your captain of, or what do you call him, a club captain or?
Is this Mike Cross? Yes.
Yeah, Mike Cross.
Mike Cross would be our director of rugby.
Director of
And
rugby.
he's only just got a smartphone and only just knows how to use Twitter. So
He's only just worked that out.
He's technologically challenged.
he's technologically challenged and struggles a little bit, but he's getting there. slowly.
He's a quirky bugger, I tell you that much. Known him for a long time. Great guy, though. Great guy. And the right guy to have in your neck of the woods. Played scrum half back in the day.
Correct,
Good
yes.
player. All right, so, but you've got an incredible gears there at the Bay. I know the guys from Barristers have moved the restaurant into Lance from Barristers has opened up there, and that seems to be like quite a success. The food in your neck of the woods is absolutely incredible.
Yes, correct. Obviously, you know, obviously give you just a little bit of background. We've obviously gone into a little bit of a joint venture with obviously some people to upgrade our facility, and obviously along with that has come Lance, who's bringing obviously his little Barristers look and feel to it. And every time you come to a club, it's always very busy, but not just busy just with rugby folk. There's just general folk from around the community, and obviously people that can come down. You can bring your kids. They've got jumping castles. They've got everything for everyone. Obviously, as well as, you know, anything to kind of whet your appetite as well, and to maybe have a little bit. And obviously it's very close, and again, obviously for the community as well. So one thing it's done very nice for us is it's upgraded our facility.
Sorry.
Yeah, so again, which obviously makes it just that much more enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah.
Before, it might have just been just rugby guys, maybe in the WAGs and so on, couldn't really have a bit of a feature, as well as kids. Now it's kind of all inclusive, which means that you can stay on to the wee hours of the morning, which is
The
fine.
wee hours of the morning, yeah. No, I mean, the reason that I was asking that, part of going there is because the Stormers were playing at the same time. But you have got a bit of a draw card there at the Bay, and it is quite spectacular on that side there. A couple of new players in the squad now. I believe you've stolen Nani Osman from SK Warmers.
Yes, well, some people would say steal. Others say we maybe play an attractive brand of rugby that maybe lures players to come and play. So I won't use the term steal. But, you know, rugby, obviously, as it is today, obviously any team that does well, we've obviously lost players as well. We've lost players to Western Province, to UCT, to Border, as well as Griquas. And we wish all of our players that are obviously in their new careers, and we wish them well. Obviously,
Now, that's the problem with Borders and Griquas. They keep stealing your players.
well, this is the problem, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
It's not that they play a better brand of rugby.
Touche. Yeah.
Except my next.
All right, then let's look at some of the other games there. Belhar, Vredenburg. Okay, Belhar, we saw Belhar's performance against Roses the previous week. Shawnee, I know you saw the highlights. But again, 55-16, Belhar's going to come out strong. And that home ground advantage at Accordion Park is really playing in their favour.
Yes, there's been, just having a look at the last 2 weeks worth of results, there's been some big scores put on the board. And you know, just chatting to Jono and just sort of talking about it's quite a long campaign for the guys, and if they're up and running and scoring so many points so soon, I think we could be in for a good community challenge as well as Super A.
Well, Belhar and False Bay sort of shining at the moment. Do you think those are the two teams to be looking out for? Too early to tell?
Yeah, well, no. The Bay always up there. It's always a great game, home or away. There's a good camaraderie between them and many guys, and especially Hammies. And Belhar is always tough. Again, home or away. So it's interesting to see these results being put on the board, and look forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes.
SK Warmers 44-17 over Horston. Riaz, let's bring you into the picture here. You mentioned that SK Warmers didn't have a great away game on the start, even though in that game they were apparently leading in the first half. I think they were way up. I was speaking to Manib Levy last week, and he was saying, so yeah, they again home ground advantage at the track.
It bodes
And sorry, they didn't play on the track. They played on the postage stamp
okay.
next door.
Yeah.
The field next door.
You see, it bodes well for Western Province Rugby. The clubs are doing extremely well. Warmers lost a couple of players as well, and they're also starting to rebuild again. Like you said, Nan Osman has gone. He's been a stalwart at their club for a long time. I mean, he's an excellent player. He normally carries I won't say carry the team, but he's normally extraordinary on a match day. I mean, he does something always to spark something in the life in the team there as well. So they've got a great coup by getting him to come and play at False Bay. And they obviously trying to rebuild their ranks now as well. But all in all the results bodes extremely well for Western Province Rugby. I mean, this is amazing to see these results against the Boland teams who are normally very, very competitive at the beginning of the season. They're normally much more fitter, always on the ball at the beginning of the season, and we always come into it in the latter stages of the season. But to see this happening so early, especially with Belhar, Belhar's going to be a team to watch out for this year.
I'm telling you something, that I looked at those guys against Roses and they've put on some serious size.
Yeah.
And some of those players, they're not playing. Watching against Roses and John, it was exactly what you said. That they, Roses in that first half, and in fact probably for most of the game, they were really just running the ball wide. It sort of looked to me like typical what we used to call Western Province running rugby, but probably in the Boland they play the same style of rugby. But Roses against Belhar were just running the ball. But Belhar, I think, like sort of a team that has got more experience now, they had their defensive lines sorted out, and it was well drilled. Whereas a lot of teams that haven't got the time to work on defensive lines and get all those patterns, if you're running running rugby like that, you always find the gap somewhere. But they seem to be very composed. I mean, the Super League A teams now are very organized.
Now, look, if I can just add to that, one also mustn't forget that obviously Belhar take strength from the fact that they obviously got into the President's Cup late last year, and they managed to edge out Hammies obviously in that semi-final game and go on to play in the final. Obviously we know what the result was there, but they'll take obviously positives out of that, and they'll take it into the new season, which they've done. They've probably also got some players as well in their building for it. So I know when I speak to their coaching staff, they obviously want to win, and they're saying that the final and semi-final is going to be played at their home ground. I just say, kind of like Nas says, the Currie Cup wasn't won in March, so we just take it game by game. But Belhar will definitely be a team which we'll be looking out for. But like we say, game by game we'll take it, and obviously we wish all the teams obviously the best of luck in the campaign.
Riaz, Ashik Wise coaching at SK, how much difference is that going to make?
Well, he's got a lot of experience playing up north of all these years, playing top level Currie Cup rugby as well. So he's got a wealth of experience that he can obviously impart on the guys there at SK Warmers. But you see, the longer you play for like a club like Belhar, for example, the longer you play in Super League A, you start picking up those good traits that you get in all the other Super League A clubs. Like Primroses, they've been, this is going to be their second year now. They can only grow from strength to strength with the amount of, every week you play against a team that's better than you. You maybe get a team that you learn things from every single week the further it goes on, which is important. I mean, it only bodes well for them going forward in the future. And like you said, Ashik Wise, he's going to do great things with SK still.
Who's the wing that you guys took from Collegians?
We got,
SK took? No. Slipped my mind now.
You mustn't use the word took or taken or steal. Let's just say once again, we kind of inherited a player who we got, his name is Mustaqim Yapi.
There we go, Mustaqim Yapi with a big jumping.
And obviously, like I was mentioning to gentlemen here, that I believe that he's one to look out for the future.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
I've already played him at fly-off, at wing and at fullback. He seems to be very comfortable at fullback. A huge amount of speed and pace, and I'm sure if you have any highlights video or anything, you'll definitely see him finishing and scoring tries.
Yeah, we actually have. We've got a couple of highlights from one of his previous games at Collegians, where I think Collegians was playing against Villagers on the day, and him scoring in the background. And in fact, Rashid Isaacs, who takes photographs for the People's Post, has got a beautiful photograph of Mustaqim about 2.5 meters high up in the air as he just took off. All right, let's look at Primrose there. Primrose Saldanha, 23-15, not the biggest of margins, but Saldanha not an easy team, and Primrose will be happy to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, after their first week's loss, and they were sitting without one of their influential players, their midfield maestro, Ramiz Osman, so to speak. He's gone with the SA Touch team while they're leaving in April, but he's practicing with that now, so he doesn't want to get injured. So he's out of the team for the moment, and they obviously lost him, and they missed him in that game as well, in the first week. But they've come back strong, second week, and hopefully they'll just grow from strength to strength from there.
All right, so we'll be looking out for that. When we come back, folks, we'll take a look at the fixtures in the Community Challenge. We'll be back with you in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, it's Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and of course on Twitter @Cape Rugby TV. Riaz, Twitter handle for you?
Riaz 001.
Riaz 001?
Yeah.
They didn't have Riaz 007?
No, man. Unfortunately not. Taken. There's a guy in India sitting there with his stand, yeah.
And its Violets is?
Violets RFC.
Violets RFC. Jono, yourself?
Mania, 1981.
Mania, 1981. Hey.
So was taken.
Mania. And of course, it's False Bay RFC, right?
That is correct, yes.
And then Judge Rugby is one of them.
Yeah, Judge Rugby is my rugby one.
Yeah. People can find you on Judge Rugby.
At Judge Rugby, yeah, that's pretty much across the board.
And then at Hammy's, it's Hammy's Hamilton's RFC.
It's at Hamilton_SPRFC.
All right then, okay. Underscores my pet hate in the world of social media, folks. Anybody who puts an underscore in their Twitter handle needs to be underscored. Underscored, yes, I did. Underscored. But yeah, folks, we're looking for you on Twitter. Remember, during the community challenge, of course, the hashtag there is #ComChallenge. I see it's a couple of ones thrown out there at the moment. Community challenge, #community challenge, or #ComChallenge seems to be working quite well. And then there's the other one of #WP versus BOL, Western Province versus Boland. So that's but go with the ComChallenge, #ComChallenge. I think that's where we want to be. It's a nice, easy one. I first had community challenge, and then I think some of the guys threw out their ComChallenge, which made perfect sense. So #community challenge on the weekend is #ComChallenge. And you can watch that back channel of folks that are talking about the various games that are happening in and around the community challenge. Remember, of course, you can share your results, pictures, and fan pics on Facebook with us, which we can bring into the show here at Cape Rugby TV. That's quite exciting as well. Let's take a look now at the community challenge, the ComChallenge fixtures for the weekend. It's of course away this time for Western Province as they travel to the Boland. Primrose travel to Vredenburg in the first game on Saturday. This is the Saturday 28th. Belha are up against Never Despair. False Bay take on Saldanha. SK Warmers take on Roses United, and then Paarl Region are up against Horston. All right, gentlemen, let's take a quick look at that. Some sort of Cape Rugby TV prediction time. Primrose, Vredenburg, Riaz?
Primrose should take that one.
Primrose, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Belha and Never Despair. Jono, what do you think there?
Belha to take it.
Belha to take it, huh?
Yes.
False Bay and Saldanha. Jono.
We're playing away. It will be a tough game. We are having another bus trip, which does have the gears. So I will definitely say Bay.
Bay for the
Up the bay, all
Bay
the way.
by 50.
Up the bay all the way. Your preparation for Saldanha, again, have you had much information on how they play up there? Or what do you expect? The fields, the players, anything?
Yeah, look, to be honest, obviously the stance which we've taken in this particular competition is to go with a really big squad on our side. And because we have a really big squad, it's to give our players individual attention. So we've concentrated on our performance, not so much the team we're playing. So we haven't done a hell of a lot of history and looking in, and we can't read into past results because other teams could be doing a similar thing. Maybe Belha and maybe Primrose are also experimenting with players, and this is why we're seeing the results are much like obviously some of the Boland teams are as well. This is a bit of a pre-season, even though it is a tournament. We obviously have the luxury of having a lot of depth in our club at the moment and a very big squad. So we concentrate on our individual performance, not so much on the team who we're playing. And again, we just take it game by game.
Do you have to submit your teams before the weekend, or can you take 60 oaks in the bus and choose who you want?
No, you cannot. You have to. We're allowed to pick 23 players. You're actually allowed to pick 25, but only 23 can play on the day, and it's all on the scrum system. And we should be up by Thursday. I know we normally do ours by Tuesday, Wednesday. So up by Thursday on the system, so that other teams can obviously have a look, obviously at your team and who you're selecting and so on. Which is great for competitions and leagues moving forward as well.
Yeah, no, it is good. Yeah, SK Women's Roses United, Sharky.
Well, just chatting earlier on about Roses and how they like to swing the ball. That SK like to run a lot as well, but defensively are pretty sound too, and that could be a tough one. But I think SK, I'm quite happy to say that the Cape team should take that, and should take it well, maybe 20-30.
Yeah, 20-30 points, huh?
Maybe a bit closer.
Yeah, I think.
Do
you think SK would have learned from the? Do you think? I'm sure there was a couple of SK eyeballs at the False Bay game. Jono, I mean, did you see any of the guys there?
My honest opinion, I think I'm always going to go with the Cape team. So I'll go with one of those cases where my heart will say SK, my head might say something else, only because it's Wellington Roses at home.
Yeah.
They were very tough. They've just come off a very tough game now, obviously against us. They were very up for the challenge. They were very physical. They had very good running backs. They played from minute 1 to minute 80. SK must come, and they must come prepared to play, and hopefully they can obviously win away from home. So I'll go for SK. I don't think it's going to be a landslide.
It won't be a landslide. I doubt
but I don't think it's going to be a
SK.
landslide. Yeah.
Okay, but it's actually interesting listening to it in this way, because it's almost like if the SK coaches are watching tonight, they can pick up a little bit of information from what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. If I was an SK coach, I would have been on the phone with you already. But okay, so there's, and then of course Houston and the Paarl region. Of course, the Paarl region were playing against the Vodacom Club to Vodacom squad on Tuesday night. So they're going to have had their legs run a little bit. So that's 2 games. I mean, they should have recovered by then, areas.
I'm not so sure. Houston won their first game against Primrose at home. They had a loss now this week away, but I expect Houston to win that one.
Against Paarl region?
Against Paarl region, yeah.
And
At home.
Also,
And like you say, the game, sorry to break your word, Sharky, but obviously the game they had in the week as well. Like you said, they might be a bit tired, fatigue. They're travelling as well. It's going to be a bit difficult in Houston. And depending on the weather as well.
Sorry. And it's also been two tight wins for them in the last 2 weeks with Paarl. A 30-24 win over Saldanha, and then a 44-18 win over Nevis Bear. So the first one more tight, but it's 2 good wins for them. So it should be a crack of a game, that.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like the undertone here is that Houston's a strong team.
At home.
At home.
Yeah. They've beaten Primrose in the very first game.
Yeah.
The loss this week now wasn't too bad. It was a loss, it was away, but it wasn't as bad as what it could have been. And so I think they're going to bounce back at home again. I mean, it's hot now as well. This entire week's going to be hot, so I think the weather on Saturday is going to be massively in Houston as well, which is going to play right into their hands.
Yeah. All right, then let's take a look now at the Community Cup, folks. Community Cup first round results then. This weekend has just gone by. Evergreens beating Worcester Villagers. Old Selbornians 22-14 over Durbell. Rustenburg beating Police 36-22. Bloemfontein beating Raiders, losing to Raiders at least. Police beating Noordelijke. Sishen going down by 1 point to Hamilton's. Velkom Rovers 32-69 going down to Dispatch, and then Westbank 32-13. Of course, the ones that we're looking at there that are of interest, and we'll start off first with Durbell going down at Old Selbornians. Sharky, you're the Community Cup guy. What happened there?
Yeah, it's been tough, and we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago about how much rugby Durbell played last year, having to go through the qualification process to get into Community Cup. They've also got 2 tough away games, and this was one of them. Old Selbornians pretty solid, and they were leading at one stage, Durbell, and Old Selbornians came back to win it. So it's a tough finish off, sort of tough rest of the group left for Durbell at the moment. They need to take a home win this weekend and get an away win the following week.
What's Old Selbornians like as a team? They must be pretty good at beat Durbell.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know too much about them, but I know they were in the Community Cup last year, so they've been up there.
Guys, just a side note, Sharky, make a change. All right, now we'll go back to your real set of expertise then, your real skill set. Yeah, Hammy's beating Sishen by 1 point. That sounds like that was pretty tight, eh?
Yes,
you watch a game? Was it on TV? Do you know?
No. I didn't. The team travelled away. They had some tough times. We lost the player. He missed a flight.
Well, apparently the guy. What do you mean they missed a flight? Because I was told that the guys would take a bus.
Yes, well, the guys flew to Kimberley and then took a bus from Kimberley to Katu. And the bus, there was problems with the bus as well. So it was a bit of a challenge getting up there. And fortunately, it wasn't as hot as expected. It was overcast on the day.
Where is Sishen anyway? Anybody know?
North of Kimberley.
Where's Katu?
That's also...
Where's Kimberley?
Uppington. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 1 point. I mean, they'll take that win.
Yes, come from behind victory. Neil Cleghorn scoring the try in the 67th minute, and Shane Vallander converting it for the 1 point win. Tough end, and the boys will take a lot out of that ahead of this weekend's game.
Yeah. So let's quickly look at the fixtures now, folks, in the Community Cup in the second round. I think the ones we're interested in there is Durbell and Springs. Right. So at least Durbell have got home ground advantage this coming weekend, and Hamilton's against Wanderers. Sharky, back to you then, Wanderers. What do we know about Wanderers? Hammies will be happy to be back home.
Yes, definitely. The game has been moved forward on Saturday because it's being televised, so it's a little earlier than most of the other games.
What time? Do we know the time there?
2:30.
2:30. All right, folks. So, by the way, keep note of that. Hamiltons are playing at 2:30 on Saturday. So, if you want to get out of Hammies, that's the time for your local game. Hamilton's up against Wanderers at 2:30. All right.
Yeah, and Wanderers pretty decent. There's actually a bit of history from way back when between Wanderers and Hammies. In terms, you'll see they play in a similar, if not the same colours as us, and it stems from way back when they needed kit and they could only get hold of jerseys from Hammies. So it was quite an interesting fact to learn. But they're going to come. They had a bye this weekend. and they're going to be coming through all guns blazing to open up their Community Cup campaign on TV and to beat Hammies on their home ground.
All right, folks, so if you're talking Hamiltons, you obviously have to talk Vasco Tavern, the Vasco Tavern in Alfred Road in Greenpoint. You want to get out there and you want to win for yourself a dinner for as many as you like to the value of 250 Rand, then all you need to do is SMS the word Vasco to 33280. Okay, so don't forget then, if you talk Hamiltons, you talk Vasco Tavern. You must get out there, check it out. Early games, getting the ball rolling, so to speak, Riaz. I mean, Brackenfell, UCT, hello, Meneer.
That's going to be...
Surely, isn't UCT, why would be playing, this is a weekend fixture, this must be like a second team or something. The UCT guys are busy in the middle of the Varsity Cup.
Yeah, you see some of them, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get all their numbers back at the clubs as well. So these fixtures are very important for you to get all your periphery players there. Yeah. You need to have the hype around it for them to all start coming. Villages Rangers, for example, we're playing on the same day. Or it's actually now Friday night fixture. So we're playing against Villages as well. They've got 2 teams from Rangers against Villages, and we've got 2 teams against Villages as well. So they've mixed up. They've said the same thing. Remy spoke to me, told me, listen, they're trying to get all their guys there and try to get them hyped up as well. So that's what they're starting with. I think most of the clubs are starting to do that as well, man.
Stay tuned, folks. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, every Wednesday night. And don't forget on Saturday as well at 9 a.m. That's the time of the repeat. So don't go anywhere. You can win yourself that dinner for 2. Dinner for 250 Rand, for as many as you like, at the Vasco Tavern in Alfred Road. Scottsdene, Franschhoek and Lower Paarl, those are again 2 teams close together, and that's going to be
running rugby.
Running rugby.
Oh, that's going to be start to finish running rugby. It's going to be hectic. The moment you look away, it's going to be a try scored. So you're going to miss a try every time you blink. That's how fast they play rugby. Seriously, Franschhoek plays rugby extremely fast. They've got fast backs. They kick the ball through, kick and chase. That's their game.
Yeah. Scottsdene up against Belleville. That's going to be like a derby match. The teams are close together. So I expect quite a lot of people out there. And then Durban will take on Vix. Again, it's probably like you're saying, John, these 2 teams, would you agree with Riaz? It's a little bit of like bringing the guys back into the mix, getting them ready for pre-league.
Yeah, well, what you probably find is that Durban obviously aren't in the Community Challenge, in the Cup, so they've got a massive squad, and Vix have got obviously all their normal Varsity Cup competitions going on, so it's a case for either coach to probably test some fringe players, guys that he wants to see, or maybe guys in form, or maybe bring guys back that are injured, and so on. So this
but the Marty's guys
aren't,
but the Marty's guys aren't allowed to play in the Vix team. Are they? Are we allowed to see Marty's players in playing for Vix? So is the player allowed to be testing his French players in a team he's not playing for?
Of course, yes.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah. All right. I suppose it's a friendly. He can do whatever they want.
Do what they want. Yeah.
Until the league comes, and then of course in the league they're not allowed to play. Am I right, guys? I don't know. I've got to check these rules and regulations once again. But Durban and Vic's going to be it's going to be quite a kind of a tough one, John?
Look, again, I think obviously from Durban you're going to see much of the same. Nice and physical up front with decent backs out wide. They've actually got quite a... they've lost a lot of their old players in their recent years, and they've got a lot of youngsters. But Durban, again, they almost... If you want to make it into cricket terms, they obviously have a long tail. So they've got a very strong club. They've got a strong ethos in their club. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, young crocs, old crocs. Some of their jocks could probably play in the first side as well. They're so big. They always come up to the bay and give our poor little crocs there some. And then obviously Vix, you're going to have some youngsters, tall, rangy guys that just love playing touch rugby and playing corsage rugby, and it'll be a try fest out there as well. Yeah.
One of the guys is who we saw at the launch of the Community Challenge, Mike Popmeyer. He looks like he's in great shape this year. Has he been putting in work or?
Yes, well, I've got a quiet small little kind of recipe which we're using, and obviously in the last 2 seasons we've obviously been doing a lot of CrossFit. And we've been on the master plan, so to call it, and a lot of my guys have obviously, a bug is bitten, and they've been going to their own sessions. And Popmeyer, who's about 32 years old, is actually representing Germany. He actually flies out tomorrow, and he plays against Portugal.
What, Germany rugby?
That's correct. Yes,
he's playing for Germany.
Yes, correct. And actually, in the last 2 weeks, he played against Georgia. So the German national team flew him out. He played against Georgia, and the following week he played against Russia. He came back, assisted us in playing the Roses. Broke his nose, which is already broken in 2 places.
Yeah, we've got that problem.
Finished the game probably in the last 10 minutes, came off, and now he's flying again Wednesday to go play Portugal. Hopefully he comes back in one piece on Monday.
Sounds great.
So we can take on obviously the rest of the fixtures.
Yeah, I mean, and there's border Griquas and Germany.
Yeah.
These countries. So they've got no development process in, in Germany, like, so they just steal the false bay guys. Like these Germans, German perfection, can't they get it right? I mean, for heaven's sake. Another two teams that are on each other's doors, of course, Allendale and Peniel Villages, right there. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then Villages taking on Rangers, and I know those guys are all prepping full steam ahead. We're going to take an ad break. When we come back, before we take an ad break, let's quickly look at that little friendly session that we went to on Monday night at Silver Tree Rida, and the guys having just a little bit of a workout.
Yes!
Keep walking. Keep on working.
just some normal rugby drills, something simple. Just keep the hands fit, that's all about. We're going to push the whole way through. So new club, new people, new faces, that's what it's all about.
It's just intensity training tonight. It's hands and communication, that's really what it's about. But great stuff, the intensity is going, it's been focus has been good, communication, the depth running is good, like the angles. Most important, the communication is key.
Julle first team, allemaal paar juniors, allemaal samen hoor zo. Het seizoen lijkt goed vorentoe.
Boys, it's a change of date, so our mindset must still be on rugby, eh? We can't now still, it's Monday, we're still getting away from the Sunday. I told you guys last night in the group, start focusing on Sunday night already. Pick it up after 8 o'clock, start switching on your week ahead.
So yeah, good result there for UCT, 40-13. Johnny, you've played against UCT on a number of occasions now, and of course your former colleague Kevin Musicant coaching there at MMU. They had a little bit of a rough one last week, but it looks like the wheels are back on track. 40-13 in MMU.
Yeah, look, I say the scoreline was a bit of a shock to me, but I know that the guys have been preparing for many months, and they're looking the part. They're extremely conditioned. They've actually got a huge pack working very well in their mauling game, and then obviously UCT will always have backs to finish as well.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too surprised seeing a home game going up for 40 points. The one game which obviously did alarm me when I got back from practice was the Marty score. So
No, we're going to get to the Marty score in a second here, because there's a story waiting. There's a story that's waiting to happen there. Unfortunately, folks, we would have liked to have a Marty's jersey on the back here somewhere, but haven't managed to get anybody from Marty's on the show in the past 5 years. So yeah, NMMU then, are they a strong outfit, Riaz?
They're the most improved in that specific varsity cup. Over the past couple of years, they were first the whipping boys the first couple of years, and now they've the most improved because they've gotten stronger every single year. And this year is no exception. They started off extremely well.
Yeah.
So you expect them to give you a tough game.
All right,
so
then.
Jono said that he was a bit surprised at the result. I think it could have been a bit tighter because they are doing very well in MMU. Yeah.
All right, so the shock result then over the weekend, or at least on Monday night, was the Marties game, losing to Tuks. And we did say last week that Tuks was, you know, an underrated team and that they have been the champions many times. But let's take a look at the action shots now. Marties against Tuks. Yep, so there you go. Marties losing to Tuks. What on earth happened there? Sharky, you watch the game?
Yes, I did. Tuks dominated up front. It was quite evident and hit Marties quite hard.
Yeah.
They got some pretty good backline players. They had a couple of guys that were running some great lines, and Marties just folded. It looked like they were put under a lot of pressure, and Marties have come back in the past. They're very good 80-minute side, and they will fight till the end. But by the time they saw the finish line, there was too much of a deficit to make up.
They had a tough game the week before. I think that game took its toll on them, especially with the travelling as well. I think that's what got them, because it was a very tough game the week before.
Yeah, and of course, and the week before that, they had a draw.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We keep saying Marties is a winning outfit. I mean, we know that they are. We know that they're a classy outfit, and we know that the Tuks guys are. I think have got a couple of former professional players in their squad as well.
You know, JB, just to say, I mean, you say Tuks, but is it not the Blue Bulls under 21 side?
Yeah, exactly.
So
my point exactly.
You know, are they boy men or men boys that are playing here? They physically dominated Marties up front. It was. I mean, we should call a spade a spade. When last have we seen Marties take 50 points?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize, I don't know if Marties maybe have a few string of injuries, because I did see a few new faces there compared to the guys I saw in pre-season and obviously in the other fixtures. Maybe that's a role to play, but you don't really see a Marties team going down by 50 points every day.
But of course, the absolute bonus that they've got in their favour is that all those guys from Vix would have had a practice session over the weekend. So they will have a lot of depth to move back into. All right, then. So it didn't go the way of Marties over the weekend. I'm sure it's going to go better shortly then. Let's look at the fourth round fixtures then coming up this weekend. UCT and CUT. UCT's got home ground advantage. Pucker against Tuks. It's going to be interesting to see then how Pucker do against Tuks, and Shimla's take on Marties. It's away again for Marties. Jono, 2 games away on the trot.
Look, I'm sure Chris Osoni's men will obviously get after the boys, and I'm sure some of the old boys will step in as well, especially because Marties just do not perform like that. And I'm sure you'll definitely see Marties turn it around, most definitely.
All right, let's look at the rest of the fixtures there. NMMU are up against UJ, also in Port Elizabeth. Those matches coming up this Monday, the 2nd of March. All right, then in the Varsity Shield, there was the 5th round results then for coming up, or that was played on Monday as well. Fort Hare losing to UKZN, 21 points to 13, and then Wits drawing with UWC. UWs, of course, had an away game over the weekend. Let's take a look now at some of the action picks from the match between UWC and Wits. then. So those are the Varsity Shield action shots there. Sharky, Wits, these guys are not lightweight, so a great result there for UWC, but there must have been a lot of running rugby here.
Yeah, 37 all was quite a big result. But yes, Wits playing Varsity Cup last year were relegated, and for UWC, who, to be fair, haven't had a great season, to come back, if I'm not mistaken, I do speak under correction, but I think they came back to draw that game. That's a great result for them, and I know they got a couple of flashy guys on the wing, and so it looks like it did them well.
Yeah, but I think so far UWC, I'm quite surprised actually. They've done well. They've done well considering that when I spoke to Peter de Villiers earlier on last year, or earlier in the year, and also to Oliver Janssen last year, is that they had so many young guys. It's a big challenge for Wits to draw the same kind of, for UWC to draw the same kind of players that UCT and Marties have. They're still a university. They really do struggle with the academic schedule tying into it. They don't have big bursaries for the guys. So it looks like things are and they didn't do well in the league last year either. Yeah. So for UWC to be turning the gas on like this now, it's impressive.
We hope it turns their season around, or this kickstarts or jumpstarts their season now, because they haven't been doing well. But they've got an exciting right wing, and they fly off. He's a bit erratic, but that fly is very skillful. Yeah. So he keeps them on the front foot all the time. They're being dominated up front though. That is where they're losing or having a bit of a problem, because they don't have that physicality up front as what the other clubs have got, what the other teams have got. But they've got a lot of gas out wide, and the fly off, watch out for him. He's going to do some big things still. He gets that backline moving all the time.
Yeah, no, looking forward to UWC's next results. So of course, they take on UKZN on Monday, this coming Monday, as they take on UKZN. It's a away game for UWC. And then Fort Hare are up against TUT. You can see the fixtures on your screen right now. Very exciting. Looking forward to see how Fort Hare are going to do against TUT, and then UKZN up against UWC. Remember, you can win a dinner voucher valued at 250 Rand. All you need to do is SMS the word Vasco to 33280. It is competition time, and you can win yourself a 250 Rand meal voucher to the Vasco Tavern for a Portuguese fiesta. A Portuguese fiesta. Have you eaten at the Vasco Tavern yet, Sharky?
Yes, I have a number of times. A good spot. That's on the way to or from practice. Maybe just stop in for a couple.
You didn't need to empty your tank.
Well, listening to your story.
What was your favourite meal there?
I actually have the fish quite often.
The fish?
I do enjoy that, and they've got a nice little calamari combo.
I believe the espetada is pretty good.
Hey.
Looks good.
Have you been?
No.
Right.
I just like espetada, that's why.
Well, if you are in the southern suburbs and you aren't in the CBD area, you should try out our new restaurant at the Bay.
Right.
And I recommend the Southern Style Burger, which is quite nice. The Southern Style Burger.
The Southern Style. I thought you said the
And you
Scott
can
Burger
choose with a
burger.
choice of fries or some salads, depending if you're banting or not. I'm not too sure what you're into nowadays.
All right, folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back after ads, we'll take a look at the Super Rugby results, the logs and fixtures, and of course the Helderberg Sevens preview as well. We're back with you in a second. Super 15 time it is then. Let's take a look at the results over the weekend. I loved this weekend. It was the Chiefs beating the Brumbies 19-17. The Rebels going down the Waratahs 38 points to 28. The Hurricanes beating the Bulls 17-13. The Highlanders losing to the Crusaders. The Reds 18-6 over the Force. The Stormers beating the Blues 27-16. And then of course the Sharks 29-12 over the Lions. All right then, gentlemen. Let's take a look at some of those results. The Brumbies didn't come out and perform. Ria's your favourite team. Apparently, am I right?
No, we wear a jersey, replica, our new jersey, also the new replica jersey of them. But
oh yeah, your Violets jersey looks almost like the Brumbies jersey.
No, it is their jersey, and the new one is the new one now as well for the new season.
Is their jersey?
We've got their jersey. We've designed our jerseys based on their jersey.
Really? No, I never knew that.
Yeah, exactly their jersey.
I thought something looked familiar. I thought it was my eyes playing tricks on me. Never quite got it.
Yeah, but I don't support the Brumbies. But
no, you don't.
Yeah, no. But they started well. But obviously they could. Well. But now,
all right,
the wheels are coming off.
Yeah, the Rebels then and the Waratahs 38. The Waratahs were going to kick back into gear sometime, Shark.
Yes, they were, and
the Rebels. That little moment that the Rebels had, that was it.
They still played some really good rugby. The Rebels did, and they've got a couple of class players. But Kurtley Beale stepped up a little bit. He was trying hard for most of the game, and in the second half it came off for him. A couple of lapses of concentration defensively.
I love watching Kurtley Beale on a good day. Kurtley Beale on a bad day, I don't know. But Curly Beale on a good day, great stuff. The other interesting result was, of course, the Bulls losing to the Hurricanes. Jono, the Bulls really sort of in a Marty's moment at the moment.
Look, I think you're coming up against the Hurricanes team, which has actually started off well. So they got Conrad Smith and his boys. Obviously had a nice. Their first victory was over the Lions, if I wasn't mistaken.
Yeah.
And they seem to be touring, and obviously touring us, and obviously just enjoying it. You know, the guys said they're maybe not playing nice wide running rugby. They're being a bit conservative, and they're trying to pick up points away from home. Which, as everyone knows, in this competition, especially Super 15, your games away from home are extremely important.
But the Bulls are struggling a little bit. I mean, from what I understand, they've got a lot of injury problems also.
Now, look, they are. What's also a little bit concerning is they have so many bocks in their team, guys who maybe are coming back, etc. But maybe they're feeling the pressure. I don't know. I'm not quite in that camp. I don't kind of know what's happening there. But they must certainly be feeling more pressure considering having run out. They did have a very good tour, obviously in pre-season. I think when they played, it was either Saracens, if I'm not mistaken, and they brought on about 31 guys. And I really thought that the Bulls pack, they had a lot of depth with obviously all our bocks in the backs. I really thought that they were going to be one to watch. And just so far, they haven't quite lived up to expectation yet.
Couldn't turn it on. I don't think. I think that if you start getting on the back foot early in the Super 15, it's a lot of hard work to catch up. Yes.
No, definitely. The Hurricanes haven't won 2 on the trot in South Africa.
Yeah.
So that's a first for them as well. The Bulls, obviously, they're struggling because they're struggling up front at the moment now. The base that they normally work from, it's not there for them this season. So they've been, against the Stormers, they had a bad up front. We were dominating the crash ball situation as well. So they were struggling there, and that's why they can't go forward for Andre Pollard in the backs.
Yeah, the other great win was, of course, the Crusaders over the Chiefs. That was going to be a tough one, but I backed the Crusaders. Well, no, sorry, that's coming up this weekend. The Crusaders over the Highlanders. You can never underestimate them. I think that first little game was just a little bit of a blip. And then, of course, the Stormers beating the Blues by 11 points. I was happy to say that I had selected the Stormers to beat the Blues by exactly 11 points. But it was interesting that the Blues, after getting a red card, what it seemed to actually make them do is that kind of made them stronger. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, it's tough. The Stormers historically struggle to get bonus point wins and seem to waste good opportunities at getting them. They'd already scored 2 tries before Hayden Triggs was sent off. And yeah, maybe a way that, of saying it is that the Blues kind of banded together quite well, but it was still a win, and a decent win at home is better than nothing. But I was hoping to get a full bag of points there.
Yeah, well, I think guys like Dylan Leeds and the boys really stepped up, and we're seeing some lekker rugby there. They'll settle into it, and we'll take those first 2 wins as a start. Let's quickly look at the Super 15 fixtures coming up this week, and then more exciting rugby. Highlanders up against the Reds in Dunedin at 25-9 on Friday. Then also on Friday, you've got the Force and the Hurricanes, the Cheetahs and the Blues. Then on Saturday, it's the Chiefs up against the Crusaders. The Rebels take on the Brumbies, and the Bulls take on the Sharks in Pretoria. And then your final game on Saturday, folks, is the Stormers playing away from home. They're playing against the Lions. That kickoff is at 7:10 on Saturday evening. So you've got a jam-packed weekend of rugby. Let's quickly look at the Super 15 combined log now. And lovely to see the Stormers on top of the pile there. They're sitting in first place, followed by the Hurricanes, the Brumbies, the Chiefs, the Sharks, and of course the Cheetahs. In the Super 15A conference, let's quickly look at that. In South Africa, it's the Stormers, the Sharks, the Cheetahs, the Bulls, and the Lions. Those are, of course, your Super A conference in South Africa. Competition time. Let's take a look now and see who was last week's winner of the Vasco dinner competition. Once again, just a reminder to you that you can SMS the word Vasco to 33280. Put yourself in the mix to win a dinner for 250 Rand at the Vasco Tavern. Congratulations there to Mandy Vieira. Mandy walks away with dinner for 250 Rand at least at the Vasco Tavern. Let's quickly look at our Super Brew results now. Of course, the Super Brew pool, the Cape Rugby TV pool, is one of those pools you really want to jump in and have a bit of fun. Congratulations to Rudy, who takes the yellow cap this weekend in first place. Biza, Johan van Wyk, 91, Diesel V8, Zboo, 0123, Scorpion, Eddie, Titus, Billy, Storm, and Forrest Fern. You are our top 10 in the Cape Rugby TV Super Brew pool. Riaz Khan, thank you very much for joining us on Cape Rugby TV. We love having you here, and we love finding out all the ins and outs about what's happening in the world of club rugby.
Always a pleasure, JP. Anytime.
Jono, Saldana this weekend. Best of luck. Nice to have you on the show.
Yep.
And hopefully your German counterparts come back.
Yes, no, I hope so too. And if I could just give one little shout out, I have two guys that I played with at Villages. One is Ross Galdenes, the other one is Chris Heiberg.
Yeah.
Both of them playing Super 15 rugby, one for the Western Force, the other one for obviously the Highlanders. It's great that they can make it and they can fly the flag high for us, and we wish them well in their campaign.
Sharky, and then of course on your neck of the woods, Mahami's playing this weekend?
Yes, big game and looking forward to it, but thank you.
Right, folks, that's a wrap from us. We'll be this weekend at Elsie Shafir against Collegians. And just on a final note, our deepest condolences go out to the Kaiser family after the sad death of Percy Kaiser, a Kales River stalwart. You see a picture of him up on the screen there. Elsie's for life. So to the family, the friends, and everybody at the Cape Rugby TV, or at least at the Elsie Shafir Rugby Club, and I keep thinking of those, the Cape Rugby TV connection. Our thoughts go out to you, to the family and the players and the family and friends in the community in the Elsie Shafir area. We remember Percival, Craig Kaiser fondly. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.